Okay, so we go from things in the future. I'm going to take from blacks for the past. I love, shouldn't say love. I like remakes. I like remakes that are really good. I'm going to be talking about a film now that the rights have changed. And this, it's one of the corniest movies ever made, but one of the funniest movies ever made. And I say funny in a good way. Um, and I'm talking about Street Fighter. So anybody who grew up with video games, yours truly, played Street Fighter all the time. Um, this is an absolute blast. I can't. If this is anything like the original was with Jean Claude Van Damme, look out. Um, yeah. So he says, Coco says, "Whoa, that was my dad's jam." Yeah, yeah. This is. I think this is going to be so much fun. So as it stands, so this comes from THR. Street Fighter, the television rights, the film and television rights go to Legendary. Now, Legendary is that production company that put out Kong versus Godzilla and a couple of others. So that's going to be interesting. Legendary is ready to unleash a sonic boom, with the studio acquiring the film and television rights to the classic beat 'em up game Street Fighter. The studio will work with video game company Capcom on future projects. Street Fighter is one of the most enduring fighting video games franchises of all time. It began life in the 1987 game Street Fighter and hit a high watermark with Street Fighter II in 1991 that spawned countless special editions and remakes. In all, the franchise has sold 49 million units worldwide, with the new installment, Street Fighter VI, due out on June 2nd. It is known for its memorable cast: Ryu, Ken, Chung Li, Guile, and M. Bison, all whom have various sounds and moves. Um, and sounds as Hadouken that make it memorable. I didn't do that justice. I'm sorry, guys, but you get it. Hollywood has made moves in Street Fighter in the past, with Universal releasing an ill-fated 1994 film starring Jean Claude Van Damme as Colonel Guile and um, Raul Julia, as pictured there, who played M. Bison. Sorry, guys. There we go. A little technical difficulty. Sorry about that. Um, Okay, and it started. So more than a decade later, 20th Century Fox released Street Fighter: Legend of Chun Li, which starred Christina Krulak in the title role. Like its predecessor, it was a commercial and critical bomb. An assortment of animated adaptations have all made their way to the small screen. Legendary, which has a film distribution deal with Sony, has Dune Part 2 due out on November 3rd. Its deal for Street Fighter comes as a video game adaptation, has found success in recent years, with Paramount's Sonic film, Sony's Uncharted, and HBO's The Last of Us, all cutting through to various degrees. And on Friday, Universal will try its luck with the Super Mario Brothers for the first time in 30 years. That the Nintendo that Nintendo will be teaming up and has had a Hollywood studio to put out one of its prized possessions on the big screen. So let's talk about this real quick. Um, I can't wait. This is going to be hilarious and great if it actually works. So, so Coco was asking, you ever see the Mortal Kombat movie? Oh yeah, I have. I've even seen the sequel, Annihilation. It was so bad. Although I'll be honest with you, I think it kind of, compared to the Street Fighter, it's kind of neck and neck there. I don't know. It's got to be really close in that respect. But this is interesting because I think that I'm really curious to see what they could do. Um, who knows? Now, I always talk about fads, And when I talk about fads, it's because fads are what Hollywood is driven on. Right now, in the last 5 years, we have seen a lot, and I suspect in the future we're going to be seeing a lot more of video games. Ever since The Last of Us has come out, came out, you have now seen video game adaptations try to be put to small screen. You had, of course, the Uncharted movie with Tom Holland. You had, you know, I mean, just Tomb Raider a couple years back with Alicia Vikander. You've had all these franchises trying to actually reboot these things. I think, and I could be totally wrong, it would be interesting to do like I mean, look at G.I. Joe. I got laughed at the other night. I love G.I. Joe, the Rise of Cobra. I love it. But the original was good. The second one was a complete stinker. Anyways, getting back to this, I think this could be really good. I call me crazy, but if it's done right and if it's written correctly, I think it could be done really, really well. Now, obviously, you're not going to bring back the cast there. Of course, the late Raul Julia, I think that was one of his best roles next to the Adams family. But I mean, you're obviously not bringing Jean-Claude Van Damme. I think this could do. I think it could be interesting if the stories are told correctly. So I don't know if you could do it in the movie though. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, it depends on what kind of things that they would want to put together. Now, like I said, they have done Kong versus Godzilla and everything else. So I mean, maybe this is right up their alley. That corny, cheesy, type of thing. And they can put it out on anywhere they want, right? So now that they've got those deals, who knows? Um, by the way, did you see it? I haven't gotten around to it. I haven't gotten around to it. I really like. I think I gotta look to see when my Apple TV Plus thing expires. But yeah, it's one of those things where I had to cut back a little bit, so I may actually just wait on that and do somebody else's. Yeah, it does look good. Um, but even Tetris. To your point, that's a great pull, Coco. I mean, even Tetris is just you're seeing a lot of these retro right now is in, so it's really interesting. I'm curious to see what happens with this. I mean, we're not going to hear anything for years, probably down the road, but I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with this. Anyways, what do you guys think? If they made another, first of all, did you ever play Street Fighter growing up? If you have, who was your favorite character? Who did you play with in the video game? Do you play Street Fighter now? Would you be interested in a Street Fighter television series or film? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll get back to everybody.